What's up guys, welcome to another video. This is my second video in getting back into programming again. Now for this one, I'm going to do a sprint system. Now like my previous video, which is a health regeneration system, if you haven't seen that, check it out if you like. It's a simple system. Well, I think it's simple, in my opinion. Could be difficult for you, who knows, I don't know. I don't know skill level, but this is how I practice my programming. Anyway, let's get back on track, shall we? So I'm going to do a sprint system. Now for this, there's many ways you can do this. There's two that I'm aware of: an event tick, and for timers. I'm doing timers. More control, just better. Now for purposes of this, we need to do some extra things first. First, we need to create a widget. So we'll do widget, and then we're going to call this player HUD. Player HUD, and then we're going to do simple display of. So get simple display of the stamina, because that's what we want, because that's how we keep track whether we can sprint or not. So for this, we'll go there. We'll anchor it to the bottom, and then we'll do alignment of 0.5 on the X and make it 1 on the 2, 5, 5, 5, 5 on the Y on the alignment, and we'll put that in the center, and then we'll do 0 out of 0. Then there you go. That is the stamina. Well, no, we'll do like 0 out of like 50. We'll do that. 0 out of 50. We'll call it stamina text. Stamina text. We'll put this as a variable. So that's one thing. There you go. That is it. We don't have to touch it. We don't have to touch it ever again. We need to do another thing. We need to create an input key. So we go to third person, input, actions. We're going to create an input action. IA sprint. There you go. And then we're going to go in the input mapping context. Input mapping context. Can't speak today. This is what determines the keys, the key bindings. So we're going to select the sprint input action we just created, and then we add a new key binding. We'll do that as shift. There you go. We don't have to touch it. That is it. Done. We don't have to touch this again. Hopefully. May need to get back to you on that. Right. Let's start this off. Simple, shall we? So first, we'll do enhanced input. Now, let's just note this is a complete clean project, yeah? This is a clean project, all of this in the third person. You can use this in first person, but I'm in third person for this project. So yeah, it's completely clean, nothing new. So let's add the widget first, so we can see the sprint. Let's add the widget. So we're going to do create widget. This is in the begin play. The begin play, we're going to create a widget. So we'll do w underscore player HUD. We're going to promote variable. So, and then name it player HUD. And then we want to add this to viewport. Add to viewport. Now, next thing we're going to do is create stamina. So we'll do stamina, current stamina. These are all floats. These are all going to be floats we're creating. Floats, so current stamina, max stamina, and then we're going to do sprint, a sprint decrease. So sprint decreases to like 5, so per second 5 stamina will be taken. We'll do that. And then we'll do max stamina as 50. Right, and then, but we want to make sure when you spawn in, you capped out your stamina. You will have some stamina. I'm saying stamina so much today. Okay. So we want to make sure we have some stamina to be able to run. So we'll do that at 50. So go, and then that is it. But it won't be displayed. It will be displayed, which it is, but it's not updated. See, it's still 0, 50. We want to change that. So what we want to do is create a function. We'll do update stamina. Can't spell stamina. Text. Caps. There you go. Update stamina text. And then we want to get the player HUD and get the variable text which we had, which is stamina text. This is the variable we had in there, and it's set text. Yeah. And then we want to format it because we want to have the max stamina and the current stamina displayed at the same time. So we'll do 0 and 1. That is how you do it to be able to display it properly. So at the 0 mark, we put current stamina. At the number 1, we put max. And there you go. We don't have to touch that function again, and we'll call it update stamina text. Now if we run it again, if you look at the bottom, it's now 50. Now, let's create the sprinting mechanic. So let's do this. Enhanced. Let's just do IA_sprint. There you go. Now we're going to make use of started and cancelled completed. No, started and cancelled. That's what we're making use of. So, for started, we're going to do, for the purposes of this, let's just do start sprint. Start sprint. And then we're going to do print string end sprint. This is just to verify my memory is correct. Start sprint, and then end sprint. Okay, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do it in completed as well. This is just to make sure there's no issues whatsoever. There you go, start sprint, end sprint. Start sprint, end sprint. There you go. We want to actually make the player go fast though, don't we? So, in your character, there should be a character movement component. We want to set the max walk speed. Now currently, it's default max walk speed. If you select it and then go down to, where is it? It's somewhere, I'm trying to find it. Did I go past it? I might have gone past it. There you go, walking. Character movement, walking. The max walk speed is 500. So that's where it will be when you're walking. So now, I'm going to set this to 1000. Let's double your walk speed when you're running. And then, for this, we'll set it to 500. Where was I? Now, let's carry on from where we left off. So, what was I doing? Oh yeah, set the max walk speed down to 500 when you end it. So there you go. That is done. Like, you could literally just do this and your sprint system is done. See? The sprint system is done. Now, of course, animation-wise, I don't have animations for it. For running, sadly, so can't do anything about that. But you would do some animations, but this is a simple system that you could just use out of the box and you won't have to do much else for it. That is it, that's what you could do. But we're going to further this by implementing stamina. So let's get rid of this, because we don't need this anymore. We don't need the prints anymore. Started. There you go. That is it. Now we want stamina. So for that, when you start it, we want to take stamina away from the player every so often. So we're going to create a set timer by event, and we're going to set this to looping, and then we're going to do 0.2 seconds. So every 0.2 seconds it will call this event, which we're going to create right now. So custom event, a sprint. There you go. It will call this event every 0.2 seconds. But first we need to promote it to a variable, the timer, this return value. We need to promote it to a variable because we want to keep track of it. So we'll do a sprint timer. No, why is it all in caps? We don't want all caps. Sprint timer. There you go. Now we want to clear and validate beforehand as well, because we want to make sure the timer has reset and it stops this running this constantly. That's why we do that. So it effectively resets it when this is called again. So first we're going to do branch. We're going to check whether the sprint, the current stamina is greater than 0. If it is, then we're going to reroute. We're going to take away stamina. This is just for note purposes for now, because we're going to get to more. But if it is lower than 0 or equal to 0, then we want to stop this. We don't want to take any more stamina. But we also want to reset the player speed back down to 0. There's many things we got to do actually, because let's go with this actually. Let's just do this. Let's just explain this properly. Let me rethink. Right. Where we currently have it now. Say for example, we had to take away stamina, and then that was it. Right. Say it gone down to 0. Now this would keep running. This would keep running, despite the fact it's gone down to 0. We want to stop it, so we're going to copy this and call it down here. There you go. It stopped it. However, when you go down to 0, it's still going at speed 1000 because it hasn't reset the max walk speed. So we want to also get this node and drag it down here. Now if you noticed, there you go. When you go down to 0 or below it, you'll stop. You'll not stop running. That is it. No more. However, there's another thing. This. When you go to this, when you stop running, despite the fact you effectively stop running, it's still taking away stamina. It's still going to take away stamina. We don't want that. We want to stop this. Now instead of having 2 copies of the same nodes, let's do simpler and cleaner. Let's drag this. So we'll do a reroute node down here, and then connect this one to that, and then we're going to drag this all the way to here. This is a simpler way. You can do an event, a custom event, if you would like, to call this bit so it stops the sprinting, but for now, for the purposes of this video, this will do. And there you go. So when you run out of stamina, it'll stop and make the sprint speed back down to 500. If you let go of the key, it would stop, take away stamina, and put max walk speed back down to 500. And then there you go. That's effectively it. Now we want to actually create the function, so we could actually decrease the stamina. So we're going to create a function, decrease stamina, and then we're going to create an input variable. We're going to call it stamina decreased, and then we're going to set its type to be a float. Now we're going to get current stamina minus stamina decreased and set that as its new value. However, say in theory that you just keep minusing, yeah, we don't want it to go to minus. We don't want minus stamina. So what we're going to do is check whether this is lower than, well no, we'll drag this out just so it's more accurate in my opinion. Check this whether it's lower than 0. If it is, then we would set this map to 0. But this won't be displayed, despite the fact we're widget up. That's because we're not updating the text. So first we need to update the text, update stamina text on both cases. There you go. And this is it. This is it for the decreased stamina. So now we call it decrease stamina. Decrease stamina. Now say you just plug this straight in. No, sprint decrease. Plug it straight in. This will cause an issue because every 0.2 seconds it'll take away 5. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is times it by 0.2. This way it is actually what you want. So 5 stamina per second for sprinting. And there you go. And that's it. Now say we run this. And then if you look at the bottom, there you go. Now say we let go. Our sprint speed is back down to 500 and it stopped taking away stamina. Let's say we keep going until we get to 0. We're at 0 and now it's stopped. There you go. So now you're not sprinting anymore. There you go. Let's say you press it again. See? I'm pressing the shift key. See, you get a little burst of running, however. There you go. That is how you do it. See, that is a simple video, really, of sprinting. You can of course change it up, you can make it different, you can do a whole bunch of stuff if you like. This can be used elsewhere in many other different functions. Especially in my previous project, I had potions and a lot, like potions of increasing health for a certain amount of time, increasing regeneration rates, making defenses higher. That I created all those little functions a lot, so I made use of this excessively as it was just way better and like it was just real easy to use. So yeah, that is it. Sprinting is done. Like I said, you can change it up. You can use event tick, but once again, in my opinion, less control and it'll be constantly checked, which is not a thing in a way you want. You want to prevent checking as much as possible because 90% of the time it could be that this function, this won't be used 90% of the time, and yet it will still be checked nonetheless. So yeah, because that's what you'd have to do. You would have to create booleans and it'll check that boolean every single time, every single tick. And say you don't sprint half the game it's checking it for no reason. So that's why I do timers, more control, and it just frees up resources. Despite how little, it frees up resources. So yeah, that is it. That is sprinting, and yeah, that is it for this video. If you do want to see more like this, check out previous videos because chances are I've probably covered it. I don't have many tutorials currently as of recording. I've got 4 in total now. But I have made use of this system in my previous projects many times. If you look through them, you'll see in many cases. But this is how I design them in my case. Yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.